morning. My name is Christian Rodriguez. Welcome to Boss Talk, where we only interview bosses that are successful in their industry, to hopefully and above all else the bottom line is to be able to provide you guys with tangible information to really add value to your guys' life. Today we have a very, very special guest, as you can see to the left-hand side of me. She is one of the owners of the L&L Hawaiian BBQ places. And so we're going to talk today about a couple of things, and right before we get into that, if you could do me a huge favor, you don't have to do this, but I would appreciate it if you can like, subscribe, and comment. Really appreciate that. That being said, we're going to go ahead and continue on today's podcast. We're going to talk about three things: personal life, as far as being a business owner, what your personal life looks like, and then business, the day-to-day stuff in a business, things of that nature, and then relationships. Okay, so that being said, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And so, if you can give a quick introduction to the people, what is your name, age, ethnicity, and where'd you grow up?
All right. So my name is Nareh. I'm Armenian. I grew up in the Glendale area, and I am 28 years old.
Okay. So 28 years old, and if you didn't catch that, I asked her for her how to pronounce her first name. I also got lost. So for the people that don't know, how do you pronounce your name? The right way. The right way,
yeah. It's like, if you want to get fancy, Nareh. So there's like a little accent at the end, but
okay.
People just say Nareh.
So Nareh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then what do most people call you? Because I'm sure probably a whole lot of people get that wrong.
Yeah, Nareh.
Nareh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go by that, Nareh, okay? So if you're ever this is LA County, but what specific city is this?
This is Eagle Rock.
Eagle Rock, okay. So if you're ever in the Eagle Rock, I know L&L, they have a whole bunch of locations everywhere. But if you want quality service and quality food, this is a place to be at, and it's a place you want to eat at, okay? So they're open Monday through Sunday, right?
Monday through Sunday.
10 a.m. to...
Oh, you know everything. 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., but Sunday we close an hour earlier. So
okay, an hour early, okay. So this is a place where you want to go. I'm a big believer in food, but I love when it's even better to have quality food and quality service. This is a place to be at, okay? So now going back to as far as personal goes, as far as schools go, for those of you that may or may not know, Nareh, what school did you graduate from?
Yeah, I went to CSUN. So I did 2 years of community college, and then I transferred out to CSUN. Then from CSUN, I went to University of Redlands to get my MBA, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay, awesome.
Both in business.
Both in business, okay.
Business.
Business, accounting, business,
so,
admin?
Business admin, management marketing for my undergrad, and then just broad business for my master's, MBA.
Damn, so a whole lot of everything. Okay, cool. So that's kind of school. Now, there's obviously so many restaurants that you could have,
Yes.
kind of bought into, decided to work for, decided to own. Out of all the restaurants, businesses that are out there, why L&L Hawaiian BBQ? Why that specific restaurant?
Yeah, so it started off with my dad. So he decided to get out of owning a liquor store, which was ridiculous hours, especially when we were young kids. He didn't want that lifestyle. So from there, he decided to just get into franchising L&L. It was good hours, good business, and we just kind of went from there. Yeah.
Okay. So first he started a liquor store, but didn't like all the amount of hours. Because you have to work 7 days a week,
yeah,
sometimes
and it was
doubles.
1 a.m., 2 a.m., and it was very dangerous too. So
yeah.
That was in the valley as well. There were things that would happen, middle of the night. So it was just dangerous having a family. So it was hard for him. So he was like, let's just figure something out. So he got with his brothers and found out this franchise when they were on vacation in Hawaii. And they just kind of bought into it, and they started with a lot of locations, about 4 or 5, and then from there they kind of reduced it as they got older. So hopefully I can go back and open up more myself.
That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, so Hawaii. So in case you're ever struggling in business, so you want to know where to open up another business, go to Hawaii first.
Yes.
It's a good place to brainstorm. Okay, now, so at what age, how long has this location, how long have you guys been at this specific location for?
So when the shopping center opened, so about 15 years ago, this is the same people, CVS and Starbucks right next door.
They've always been here?
They've always been here.
Okay.
It's always been us 3 in the shopping center. So we've been here for about 15 plus years, and it's been amazing. Honestly, we have never done marketing. This is probably the most marketing that we've done.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of word of mouth, people just walking by.
Yeah.
There's a lot of walkways, so there's so many people going in and out of CVS. They notice us, they come in, and then they end up being regulars. So
Yeah.
we pride ourselves in having regulars. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, I've seen that like your guys' reviews, a lot of positive
Yeah.
reviews, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that matters now. Like people like they'll literally make a
Absolutely.
biased decision based off like internet.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't even matter if they're being like honest or not honest. They'll just go there if, hey, you know, it's a positive review.
Yeah, absolutely. Yelp, Google, everything.
Yeah. Okay. Now, being in business, so your dad had this 15 years ago, but when did he kind of have you kind of take over, have you kind of manage it, do the whole hiring process? How long, like, when did that start?
About 4 years ago. So, I mean, I've been in the restaurant industry most of my life. So I've been starting to work at age 14, 15. So this was actually one of my first jobs at a different location, and I did it for the summer as a cashier. I was like 14 years old, so I was helping them out when they first opened. And then at 15, I did odd jobs like babysitting and things like that. Then I got into waitressing. I did that for 2 years. That's how I kind of learned how to speak to people and talk to customers. And my social skills just went through the roof, which is great.
Yeah.
And then from there, I opened up, while getting my MBA, actually moved to Santa Barbara, opened up my own restaurant. For 2 years, I was running that, and I was working like 18, 19 hours a day, and it was like hard, very hard.
So, not to cut you off there,
Yeah,
but
no
I think a lot of times people look at business owners and look at the kind of the glamour, the trophies, achievements, like the
Yeah.
cars, all the success, but like they forget that like you had to put in your hours.
Yeah.
So just to kind of like put a hold on kind of everything for a little bit. So when you first started for those 2 years, you're working how many hours?
About 19 hours a day. Like we would open around 7 a.m. So I mean, I would have to get up at 6, and then mind you, I was getting my MBA, so I was studying as well when I had time. So, and then I would drive here once a week to go to school, then drive back and get there at like midnight, close the restaurant, and then just go home and do it all over again. So there was like no days off. And it was all college kids. It was a college town in Isla Vista, actually. So it was very tough to manage.
Yeah, like how is that? Because you have college kids that, whether they're in college for part-time or full-time,
Yeah.
like most people in college, and even most people in general, don't know what the hell they want out of life.
Yeah,
So how is it like being able to, having to hire people, and then like it goes from one day like, hey, you know what, I can't make it, to, hey, you know what, bye.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
how is
I mean,
that?
I go through that all the time here. But people would come in just for 2-3 hour shifts. They couldn't work that long. And then during summer, everyone was basically gone. So I only had like one person that would stay over the summer. And then there were a lot of issues towards the end. That's why we had to close, is because we had like the Thomas fire that happened, and we had to close for like a month. So many restaurants that year actually had to close. But the experience and the people I met were just amazing. So I'm glad we moved there and did all that. Unfortunately, we did have to close, but it's okay. Things happen. You know, you just move on and start fresh.
Right, no, that makes sense. So you definitely learned a lot just by
Yeah.
being over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and one thing that you mentioned was social skills. Being a business owner, would you say that, hey, like having social skills is extremely valuable and important?
Absolutely. Like right now, I have people just coming in just to hang out with me, and like they buy food just cause. So like I'm one of the main reasons they come in here and try to get food. So, and it's a lot of just, again, I build relationships and they become regulars. So, and I noticed that because I'm here now every day, like almost all day. So I noticed like, oh, you were here yesterday. And you're like, I loved it. You guys were great. You took care of me. So I feel like you just build that relationship with people and they come back, and you really need to know how to talk to them and just be nice and social.
Yeah, no, of course, definitely. Relationships, I think, are super important in life.
Yeah.
And I think just that's one of the greatest currencies in life is just relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, as far as you being a business owner, how many years have you been in business for, you yourself?
Ooh, my whole life.
Your whole life, okay.
You think about it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Okay. Now, talk about as far as running a business, like what advice can you give to someone that's either thinking of starting a business or is already 2, 3, 4 years in? Like what like tangible information can you give to the audience or someone that's watching that, hey, you know what, I want to start a business, or I'm already 2, 3 years in? what can you give me? What information?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to start a business, I feel like you need to sit down with yourself and talk to yourself and say, like, do I have the drive? Do I have the commitment? Because it could go either bad, I can tank, or I can be really successful. So you need to mentally focus and mentally figure out, am I going to be able to be great? And I need to see, like, hey, I can put the hours in, because nothing comes easy, especially when it's your own business, because you're putting in so much work, so many hours, and you don't know the outcome. You don't know if, like, you open a restaurant and it's gonna tank or it's gonna be really successful. You don't know. And of course, you have to be super, super, super patient, because when you do open a restaurant, I'm giving a restaurant example because I own one, is that first year you're not going to be making a profit. You're going to try to break even, and then after like maybe 2-3 years, you start making profits. So you just have to be very patient with yourself too.
Okay, so one of the advices that you would give to someone is just mentally doing like that reality check of like the realistic expectations that come in with, you know, starting a business. And the things that can happen on the back end, like, are you really ready for that? Yeah,
because you don't want to half-ass it. You need to put your whole heart into your business. Because once you just like, oh gosh, I can't deal with that, I can't deal with this, or it's staff, or things like that, it's going to start going downhill. You just need to know, like, I need to put in my whole like life into this.
100%.
Yeah, you have to maybe put a couple relationships to the side. You need, even if people don't understand, and I've had to deal with that a lot, they don't understand that you have to work all the time. And then they're just like, okay, forget you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, because like, for example, like, let's say you're just starting a business, or you're a couple of years into it, or let's say you start a new job, or you're a couple of years into it, and the bottom line is, if you really want to be successful in life, you kind of got to go all in, and that requires your entire heart, soul, mind, and spirit, right?
Absolutely.
Your entire being. So, like, what does it look like for you, like, as far as the conversations that you have to have with people that you have relationships with, whether it's like boyfriend, girlfriend, or whether it's like, hey, you're my best friend, or you're like just a friend that I've had for several years, like I'm sorry, like, I'm not gonna have time for you right now, and I hope you can understand. And if you don't, it's fine. But
I've had to deal with so many. Mostly it's the gentlemen that don't understand. I feel like they're not used to someone that has their own. They're like, oh, I have so much work to do, I can't, I'm working. They don't understand that. So they just go to the next woman that has nothing going on, and that, because it's easy access. So they completely, and then I'm saying this with like a passion, because it happened to me with a couple people like a couple weeks ago, like recently, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine, and I'm just gonna move on. And I need someone that's on the same level. So whenever you do own your business, and my mom and my dad have said this from like ever since I was young too. Not that young, because I didn't talk about relationships, but you have to be with someone at your level or better. Because if you're with someone that's underneath you, they're just not going to push you forward, and they're going to go to the next person, because it's just easier for them. So they're not going to understand your struggle and like what you're doing, how many hours you're putting, and they're just going to push it to the side and not help you succeed and help you with certain things. So yeah.
So you were talking about relationships, and when, as far as, you know, owning a business, or you're thinking of owning a business or starting a business, there are certain people that you're gonna come across, but the bottom line is, you may be in a relationship with them, talking to them in early stages, whatever the case may be, but if that person is not at the same mindset that you're at, it's gonna really it might delay your business as far as goals, but the bottom line is, they're not really gonna understand you and the way you're right?
Yeah, absolutely. You really need to push that relationships to the side sometimes if you really want to focus, because you need to build generational wealth at some point. You need to be able to have money in the bank, and money is like king. You unfortunately, that's how it is, and especially with inflation going on right now, like, you need money. And as bad as that sounds, is sometimes you have to push some things aside to just focus on yourself and make that money. Like, people, relationships, they'll come back. If they really truly love you and care for you, they'll come back, or they'll check in. So if you don't hear from someone for a couple weeks, and they're not checking in on you, saying like, oh, how is work, how are you doing, they're not worth your time or energy. You just have to move forward and start new relationships or friendships.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really good. So relationship, that's good. We're gonna go back to that. We're gonna talk about business again, but eventually we're gonna end with the relationships. But as far as business goes, owning, for someone that's thinking of maybe owning Hawaiian barbecue, okay, the L&L Hawaiian BBQ, obviously a lot of people can own it, but there's certain requirements, right? So is there a certain amount of capital that's required to buy into? What are the requirements?
So when we did it back then, it was a $40,000 franchise fee, and then you pay 8% annually. So we have built a really great relationship with L&L, so it can always differentiate with the percentage, that yearly percentage. But honestly, L&L is probably one of the best franchises to get into because it's cheap.
Yeah.
They have that freedom to do anything. We can buy our products from wherever we want. We can
use our own vendors.
Yeah, we can use our own vendors, and we can like change our menus here and there too. So we can add different things as long as it kind of has that Hawaiian flair to it. But we can add, take out, do whatever we want really with the menu. So they're amazing, and I love just being in business with them too. They're always active. Yeah.
That's really good. So I thought it was a lot more as far as capital goes, but I guess not.
It's probably increased a little bit now, but yeah, it's still not bad.
Yeah, with inflation, it's probably about $1 million now. Joking around with you now. So as far as for people that might be like under a rock that don't know like about L&L Hawaiian barbecue, what do you guys serve?
We serve like the best Hawaiian food ever. So it's a lot of teriyaki plates with our rice, our mac salad. Our mac salad is really good. I'll give you guys some to try out. And it's just a lot of teriyaki plates. We have beef, ribs, chicken katsu, which is amazing, and musubis. I don't know if I have pictures up here, but yeah.
Musubis, yeah, everybody loves those. Everybody loves those. They're fire with the sriracha sauce.
Oh yeah.
They're so good. Okay. Now, as far as the business goes, how many years did it take you guys for you when you first started to actually become profitable? Like, where after what you paid, overhead, everything, how long did it take for you guys to become profitable? How many years?
I mean, the first year when I was looking at the books just to get a view, it was amazing. So the first year they did really good. We had to build the kitchen and stuff, so we had a lot of things that we had to actually put in. So I think, if I'm throwing out numbers, they had to put in like 300,000 or something back then, 15 years ago. So they probably broke even like after 3-4 years.
After 3-4 years.
Yeah, it didn't take too long. Yeah.
Got it. So it wasn't profitable the first, second year. It took some time to become profitable. Okay, great. And right now, how many employees do you have?
I have 3 cooks, and they work like not the same time sometimes. And then the front, maybe 3 people, but I do need more people because I'm there all the time and I need some breaks. It's just very hard to find staff, and it's not just us. I've talked to a lot of different owners, and people come in, train for a day, and then leave. Or some people say they have anxiety or this and that. They can't memorize the menu, and I've heard it all. And
memorize the menu, that's a new one.
Yeah, it's not that hard. And you just practice. But yeah, they'll stay for like a week or 2 or whatnot, and I have to start fresh, constant training over and over again. But
then that's what I was gonna like ask and tell as well, because I think a lot of people, going back to like success, is a lot of people like forget that like successful people are human beings, and like we go through things. And as far as like running a business, there's people that will literally say, I'll help you guys do X, Y, Z, and then they call off, or they don't show up, or they quit, or unfortunately they have to get fired. Like the list goes on. But like, what advice do you have to give to like someone that's like, hey, I'm thinking of hiring, like, hey, Nareh, sorry. I'm thinking of like hiring, like, is there any advice you can give regarding like the hiring process for someone that's thinking of hiring?
Be patient. We go through Indeed.com, and we have signs here. I notice like people that actually bring in their resume, they're a little bit better than Indeed. People haven't shown up for their interviews. They don't let me know that they're not going to be coming in or certain things. But just be patient. Do as many interviews as possible, and be very picky because I've done it. I just hired someone in the interview because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Just come tomorrow and train. And then they ended up just like leaving after 2 days just because I'm like, I want to train someone and get someone in so I can go on vacation. But it didn't work for my benefit.
So take your time, be patient, but also be picky.
Yeah. So I mean, use your sources like Indeed.com and certain websites. Even pay like certain websites if you need. Go to campuses that are close by. We have Occidental College here, So we have a lot of Oxy students that work here, come in to eat here. So go to colleges, campuses, even high schools, and put flyers and hiring signs. Yeah.
Okay, so use your sources, and then so use the sources and use everything that's out there as far as if you need hiring. Yeah. Okay. Now, as far as business goes, when you are like, let's say you're looking to either scale business or just really just kind of maybe multiply the revenue, what's some things that you guys have done to really kind of like strategize on? Is there like a strategy behind it that you guys say, hey, in order for us to scale, we got to do this? Or is there like something that you guys changed, something that you guys implemented or removed?
Yeah. For us, adding things on the menu, people that come in, again, since I'm here most of the day, I hear like requests. So for instance, I'll just like know what they want, what they don't like, what we don't sell often. So I'll take things off the menu, maybe I'll add some, I'll incorporate some things. And then, that's pretty much it. And then for us, again, it's a lot of just people that walk by. We don't market, we don't do any of that stuff. Maybe if we did that, double profit, I don't know. But you can always just go on social media, constantly post, talk to people. We started Uber Eats and like Postmates, DoorDash, all the delivery sites maybe about 4 years ago, actually, when I got here. And that's helped a lot.
Yeah.
We do like maybe 2,000 a day just off of that.
Wow.
So it's been, especially after COVID, more people started knowing about it, that we actually deliver. So it increased, and we got a lot of regulars from there. And Uber, you can see, like, I'll see, oh, this is the 30th order, or like whatever order. Someone's almost at 100, and I'm like, ooh. Sometimes, like, I'll throw in like a free thing for him.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Taking care of your customers.
Mm-hmm. Always. I love my regulars. So I think they definitely keep us afloat too. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, now as far as relationships goes, okay, what are some things like that you think are like essential in a relationship? Like, for example, let's say we're talking about like dating, okay? Because here we talk about like everything from success, business, and business and personal life. And one of the things when it comes to personal life, when you could be running a business, but you can still be either in a relationship with someone or not in a relationship with someone. But the bottom line is you still have certain expectations of, hey, when I'm thinking of dating, this is what I'm going to look for.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't have to give me your 1,000 lists.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a long list.
But what is like a list of like for you, like when you're looking to date, when you're looking to get in a relationship, to give advice maybe to someone else, like what are like 2 or 3 things that you're looking for, like in another man, like, hey, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know.
Communication. I think that's the first thing, and I'm probably just gonna cut it off there because I know you don't listen to. This is a business podcast.
Go ahead.
So communication for sure. So if you're even running like 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late to date or something, just shoot a quick text. It's the most simplest thing, and I think that
How
just
hard
like
is it to send a 5-minute text?
I think that gives you a lot of brownie points, and especially like if you can't make it, or just don't like text back 3 weeks later and continue the same conversation. Yeah.
Oh no.
Just continue the same conversation we left off. Just don't respond at all. If that's the case. But yeah, just communicate with your significant other. I think that's most important.
So communication, for me that's a big thing. I didn't realize it till like about a year ago, because I used to have conversation with like girls. I'm like, why the hell do you not get it? Yeah. Like, I'm asking you for something so like, I'm not asking you for the moon and the stars. I'm not asking you to go buy me a Mercedes, a Maybach. All I'm asking you is, can you communicate? If I'm waiting outside for about 10, 15 minutes, and you know my time is valuable. Like, I'm like, can you just courtesy? It's just like common courtesy, just being mindful. And I feel like a lot of people, like, they're not mindful. It's like
common sense that you would think that it's another person you're involving to. Like, how would you want someone to treat you? So.
Yeah. Okay, so communication, and what about, a lot of people like to talk about respect, right? Do you think respect is an important one? Yes. I think I already know your answer, but I want you to talk about respect and like how you define that, and like what do you like look for in respect from another person?
Yeah, to understand the other person, like what they want, and just not be too pushy. So if they don't want to do something, if they, they're gonna still show interest in you if they want that, but don't make it like don't constantly push it if they don't feel comfortable. Just also open the door for them, like little things. if someone just opens a car door, like my dad will still do that. I think
For your
it's
mom?
the
Or for you as well?
Yeah, for my mom. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes he'll get me flowers, but but also I feel like my dad has put that level too, that I'm like, I need someone that respects me, that's someone that wants to take care of me, and I think maybe that's also like a Middle Eastern mindset. So there's a lot that goes into that too. So we want to be kind of like taken care of and just loved at the end of the day.
Okay, so respect, communication, and love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what about, I mean, because I think respect, communication, obviously you want someone to love you, like that's what I think a lot of people want, but they don't know how to define it.
Yeah.
What about, would you say, like a guy that, for you, is it important that a guy's ambitious, or for you it's like it's not that important because I'm ambitious or I have goals, like I'm not, really doesn't matter, it's not a priority? Like would you say like that matters or not?
As long as he has a job. Like I don't want to.
So like a McDonald's job is cool?
Yeah, that's fine. As long as I'm...
You serious?
as long as I always take care of myself ever since I was a kid. Like, right. I've always paid for certain things. I've always had that financial freedom just because I don't want to be that burden on my dad or my mom. So I've never really asked for them, like for things from them. But for me, it's like I fall in love or like someone based off just how we socialize, how we communicate. If things are just easy and simple. A lot of people do think, oh, like money, but you never know if you go bankrupt. You never know if that wealthy person, his business goes under, something can happen, recession. You don't know. And you're going to be stuck with this person forever. And then you don't know what's going to happen, and you end up getting a divorce because you actually really don't like each other.
Yeah.
And the money was keeping you afloat.
Together,
Yeah, so I think love can just help people, I don't know how to describe it.
That pretty much, like, for example, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, things can happen, life can happen, and you can have someone that's very ambitious and goal-oriented, but the bottom line is, like, let's say money was the primary thing as to why you guys were together, but if what really kind of brought you guys together was love, that's going to supersede whatever crap might be going on in the world.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if your love is strong enough, you guys can get through anything together. You can build together. You can make more money together. And my sister would tell me, like, you can't find 100% in a man. So there's gonna be some things that you have to kind of accept.
Oh no, that's true.
100%. Like maybe everything is perfect, but he doesn't make more money than you, or he doesn't make a certain figure, but everything else is perfect. But then you go to the next person, he's making so much money, but you guys just don't really get along, but he's just really good looking. Like, you just can't get 100% out of a man. So you kind of have to accept that and be like, okay, now I need to know what is my needs and wants, what I can live with, what I can't live without.
Okay, got it. And then just last thing here before we finish up, as far as your personal life goes, because business is very important, success is very important, relationships are very important, but sometimes, again, going back to people forget that, like, we are human beings and we have a personal life. There's activities, hobbies, things that we like to do. What are some things on social media, not on social media, but what are some things that you like to do outside of, Hawaiian BBQ, personal, like that you do maybe to unwind, to de-stress, things like that?
I always like to make time for people, my friends, my family. First family, and then I'll go into my friends, and then I like to do activities. So I love horseback riding. I'll do just random things. I'm actually going to the L&L convention this weekend, so I'll be in Hawaii. So
wow.
I was able to get a couple of people to work, so thankfully. So I'll be there a couple of days, and I'm going to go swim with sharks on Friday morning. So I'm very, very excited for that. And
wow.
So I like to and I'm going by myself. So I have people out there for L&L, so I'll just meet with them later on. But so I just like to do activities, anything.
So activities and traveling.
Traveling, just trying new foods. I'll eat the most weirdest thing ever. I don't know.
What are 2 or 3 things that you like? Okay, this is pretty weird.
I've had llama, I think, llama or alpaca.
How does that?
It was Peruvian, and then I've had cricket tacos in Miami.
Oh my gosh.
Which was not that bad, actually. So I'm the type of person to look through the menu and pick something that I've never heard of or tried.
Yeah.
So that's how I go based off that.
Okay, very unique. Okay, well, that kind of wraps it up. We've got to open up the restaurant. So once again, thank you for everybody for watching Boss Talk. My name is Christian Rodriguez, and with your special guest,
Nareh.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Once again, if you could do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment, I would really, really, really appreciate that. Once again, this is Christian Rodriguez with Boss Talk. Guys, take care.